No panic out there. They look
No.
like trying to put it in a good spot. Oh, now we got third sweeper. There's a little panic.
Yeah, they get a top 4.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
And lined up nicely. That nice little jam there. Although there is the kind of go around the world there, but is it all there? I think that red on the button jams.
It's gonna be hard to squeeze that
squeaks out.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to push that through the middle. What else we've got going on? We've got St. George against Quillian over on sheet 1 in a women's quarter. We've got our game, Kendal Thompson against Tremblay on 8. We've got the other women's quarter beside us, Henderson against Inglis, which is also being broadcast. And then we've got 2 local teams on sheet 4 with Steele against Purcell. Purcell's playing the national mix, so his team's playing with 3. And I just missed a triple by looking away.
Yeah. They went around the horn and they all went out. So great
Probably
shot
should have
there.
given that more flowers than it got. Here I was craning my neck looking at all the sheets.
It's fine.
Nice shot by Tremblay. That's why they're 4-0. But again, still not a comfortable end for either side. High side double for Kendal. I don't think a triple's there, but he could be sitting 2 spread out real quick. He makes his perfect. He'll roll toward that corner. He's got that yellow as the backing.
Definitely sets the stage for a force.
Yep.
Which I'm sure going up against an undefeated team, they'd be happy coming out of the first.
You'd love to force them in the first.
Calling hard on Brophy. They're going to hit that nose on. Take their own out at the back. Not ideal.
Little scientific adjustment on that back yellow. Not ideal, no. No, but they're not in an awful spot yet. Tremblay's still got to play a pretty precise shot here just to set himself up.
There is a double there, but it's...
You thinking the intern side of that top red?
Yeah, it's close. It looks like they're not going to go for... Well,
if they hit a broom side, there is a double there.
Side, they can.
Don't mind the little hit and flop either, and just try to keep an angle. If they can hit, and they can roll to the IN on curling,
right,
and keep that angle, that's probably just as good as a double.
This is where we are continuing to advocate that maybe next year we'll have teleprompters and we could actually show.
I would love a Russ Howard pen.
Next level Russ Howard pen, showing where that's going to go. Yeah,
I mean, in my heyday of watching curling at home, those teleprompters worked so poorly, and now they're pretty fancy.
They're pretty cool. First of 2 here for Julien Tremblay, physical education teacher. As they come down, maybe a little lighter weight than they had thought.
Maybe, but you know what? Everybody so far this end is over curled. Mm-hmm. Nobody's under curled. So I don't know whether it's maybe a little bit of pressure and you're trying to miss on a pro side, or if there's a touch more curl in the evening. Let's keep an eye on that.
I guess you can draw around.
But Kendall's got probably the same shot with maybe a little bit more weight. He's got that high side double again, wants to stick
Double's
it and
there
sit
for
too.
sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It's sticking that shooter is going to be really important.
Yeah, not going to want to lose the shooter. So we see this last shot here from Kendal.
That's the first one that needed a curl.
Sitting out, it's going to take their own.
That's worst case scenario.
Now it's going to leave a
straight
open draw for 3.
Didn't have that one on my bingo card.
No.
That's
really even a straight hit there would have been the better miss and force for a hit, but
that one. So I'm a career front end player for the most part. That's one of those ones you go back to the hog line and you say, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
How are we going to give up a 3 here in the first end? We felt like we had them
on the
that
ropes.
Whole,
yeah, they had,
on the ropes.
At one
the
point
whole
there,
end.
there was definitely more red sprinkled in there than yellow. And
but that's what separates these teams. Are in a quarterfinal. It comes down to angles. We say that nobody really had good angles, even though the Reds were the 3 rocks ahead of the tee line. They never really made that killer shot into a perfect little pocket that put Tremblay on the ropes.
Right.
And then they got to make that nice triple around the horn. You get one miss, and now you're just lobbing into the paint for 3.
With backing on their own shot into the 4, and Tremblay sinks that one in for 3, and we move into the end of N1 into N2 with Tremblay up 3-0 over the hometown local, Team Thompson.
If you're going to give up 3, you might as well give it up in the first end.
Yep.
Got to be happy with how the club looks and the reception here.
Nothing is as exquisite as the enchanting crimson and golden tapestry of fall. When revving your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Fall for Subaru at your local Subaru dealer today.
Done talking? Okay.
So we start here the second end. Team Thompson down by 3 starting out, but lots of time left.
Best end to give up a 3 is the first end.
As we see this come into the house, top 4. Kendal Thompson's going to walk past it and say, don't care, and calls for a corner guard. Wants to generate a little bit of offense to start digging back out of this hole. Electing to place the corner guard on the same side of the ice where that yellow was thrown, a little bit off center, where they would have liked to probably seen that a little more on center line.
Yeah, that yellow overcurled for sure. Call this like a weak side corner where there's, although this is not going to be a corner, this looks like it's going into the house.
Looks a little deep. Both teams, second end, trading shots going not quite where they want them. And now Tremblay is going to elect to remove that rock.
Yeah, Michael liked that one back. It's the nice thing about the rule changes, though. 5 rock rule, you don't have to be, your lead rocks used to have to be on the money perfect, and if a lead missed a shot, your end was over. Now you still have a little bit of room. Yeah, for sure. And it's especially tempting early in the game. Tremblay can't run away and hide with the 3-run or with a 3-point lead.
No.
So they've got to still play offensive this entire game.
And now with that shooter just rolling, I mean, still in the house, but off to the edge. A little bit of a opening here for Thompson to put that guard back up. And
those ones on the wings generally do not help you when you don't have hammer. They look nice for about 3/4 of the end, and then all of a sudden you're like, why did we
they're
leave
anchoring
that there?
you, but they're not really.
No, not really.
This one will not be heavy as we see them into the mid area of the free guard zone. And now we see Tremblay electing to call a guard as well, but hoping to cover their stone in the 4.
It's my favorite part of the game now, that you just got to keep hammering away. Like teams at this level, there's nowhere to hide. You can't play defense. You can't just go into a peel strategy. You still got to keep playing soft shots all the way through the lineup, no matter what the score is. Makes the game a lot more fun to watch, more fun to call.
Yeah. This one here, I think, has every bit of weight it needs, and it's going to land nicely, but yet, just sneaks in. So,
yeah,
opportunity now for Thompson for a nice little hit and roll.
You need to keep playing, but the high guards usually cause big problems. When you don't have hammer, high guards can be a killer.
Don't want high guards.
No, you sure don't. So probably a good
Better
play
to throw it through
by Jesse to be tighter to the house than high.
Alan there on the other sheet. Often we talk about the pro miss versus the us miss, and pro miss is which is the right way to miss versus the us miss, which is the way most of us do miss, which is not the right way. But in that case, light miss was the way to go.
Yeah. Nice shot by Bryce there.
Great shot. Gets undercover. Still a little bit open, though.
Get about half it under. Move that rock off the forefoot. I like it. Full marks for Bryce. Bryce's wife, Carly, has a bye straight to the semis, right? Am I right?
Straight to the semis, yep.
Even though they lost their skip for the rest of the weekend. But
yeah, and Team Purcell over there on sheet 4, as you mentioned, also playing with 3, losing their skip off to mixed.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Great weight control there to see that stone stick around. And
that's when I said earlier, when you say you feel like you're in the event, is they know exactly at this point now, 4 games in, what that board weight around the corner feels like. Tremblay knows where to put the broom. They know where so it's like down to execution now. So strategy is obviously huge. Your
make your shot.
Huge.
Make your shot.
But you know exactly what you need to do. Whereas in the first couple games, maybe you're taking a little pro side ice, or you're trying to throw it a little bit harder so it doesn't overcut. You're feeling the ice out. There's no more of that now.
A bit of carving, now a little bit of holding, make the hit.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, it's good.
The shot rolls in to be second stone, so automatically Tremblay looks at that and says, don't like that being second, plus it's wide open, so.
Let's eliminate some Reds. He doesn't need to junk it up right now. He doesn't have hammer. He doesn't need to play around that corner. You're just
keeping it clean.
Yeah. Don't need to get cute either.
Makes a hit. And now Thompson's looking to come back in under that corner guard again.
It's different for me seeing Stu play third this year. Honestly, don't know if it's a this year thing or not, but he was
just
great,
this year, yeah.
Yeah, he was a great skip. I played against him a lot, lost to him a lot. Him and his brother Kendal are a heck for curler. They deserve a good spot here in the quarter. Great finish in there. Almost too good. Who do we have playing live music tonight upstairs?
We have an East Coast party running tonight, and this evening we have an East Coast band called She Nova.
Nice.
Playing, starting
any minute now?
Now? Yeah, 9 minutes ago.
Okay.
Bar specials all night from Gahan Beer and Colliding Tides Beverages. Admission to the club and the whole facility is free. Free. $0. Come on down. Enjoy some hospitality, some great curling, and lots of people here actually this evening.
Yeah, it's a good crowd upstairs.
Yep. Big crowd, lots of fun things going on, and come on down.
Line's good.
If you can't, stay with us online here. My name's Rob.
I'm Mike.
Have Mike with us, bringing you this game between Tremblay and Thompson. In the second end, Thompson down by 3 after a hard-fought first end that took a quick twist to allow Tremblay to score those 3, and now Thompson's digging out a little bit, but as my colleague next to me says, best time to give up a 3 would be in the first end, not the second, third, fourth. So we'll see what happens here as Thompson keeps trying to dig themselves out of it.
A couple nice draws from Stu. He dropped a couple out turns in there pretty good. This one's in there good enough where Tremblay can't get at it with the in-turn, and he's going to try to outdraw him. This is the part where the front enders make their money. Like that, the setup shot for the skip where they're relaying times now to him. Is the ice the same? That can be a quick conversation, but they've got to worry about putting this thing perfect. It's not about make it shot rock. Yeah. It's like, no, we need to have this in a particular spot so that Kendal doesn't have a chance to get multiples this end. Stealing would be a huge bonus for them. They really want to get a force to one and take that hammer back.
Yeah. On it all the way down. A little off now, thinking they got the right line, got the right weight. Keeping close eye on it as it comes down. And this is going to rest just behind T.
First objective is to get second shot. I think they would have liked it more on the B of curling club.
Yeah, just a little heavy there. Ran through a little bit.
He's got two options. He can come in off the yellow rock that's on the word Halifax, and play either the double or just the hit and roll across.
Hit and roll.
Which, if he wants to bring that red back in, if he wants to bring his top red back in, that's what you're going to play. Otherwise, he could play a straight freeze and go for a skips deuce. I don't think either shot's right or wrong.
It's really going to come down to what he feels comfortable making at this point.
He's made some hits at this point in the tournament, so he likes this hit and roll or this double better. I know in my time playing with Jamie Murphy, out-turn hit, he's taking this all day long. And as a sweeper, I was like, great, just yell at me and I'll sweep. And don't make me think.
Yeah. There's no weight to judge on this one.
No.
It's just line.
No.
It's only line.
No, I could get that classic Jamie Murphy head roll if I overswept it. There you go. This looks perfect. Come on now.
Nice
Look at that.
Shot.
What a great shot.
What a great shot.
That pistol.
I'm just picturing that Jamie Murphy eye roll that you're talking about.
I do a great impression off camera.
A little bit of like a Jesus Mike if you didn't make it.
Yeah,
like
the chin would come up and the head would go back and he'd do a little spin around.
I don't know if Jamie's listening, but Jamie, you know that we have a lot of love for you here at this curling club, and you've certainly given us a lot of highlights over your time and career, and thanks. Thanks
Nobody
so much.
loves Murph more than me. Him and Paul are the two best curlers out of this province in my era. But he expected a lot out of his players, which was what got him those wins. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. There's times I used to go home pretty pissed off over it. The expectations were high and the results were there. I don't endorse the head roll. It just works for some people. This might be tight. Oh, he snuck it by. Look at that.
Well,
However, look at that. We might have.
We've got ourselves set up here for open hit.
Open hit to tie it up.
Tie game.
That's what we say. You got to keep on playing those. And so we talked about those yellows on the wings that look pretty innocent, but all of a sudden there's just that little bit of a jam over there. They're lucky to get it by the corner guard in the first place. But dream scenario, really, guys make some shots. Both teams made almost everything.
So we see Kendal here with his last and final shot of the second end. Open hit for 3 to dig out of the hole that they found themselves in after a really good end in the first. They didn't really deserve to go down by 3, but they ended up under by 3, and now we're back to the start of the game.
Just a couple
back at the beginning.
Just a couple field goals. We haven't changed hammer. We haven't changed anything.
Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
that's good. Looks like we could have been in trouble in that game quick.
These players are on it tonight, not taking any time between ends. Not being a time game, untimed. Sometimes things get a little slack, but here, right in the hack, and Brophy's out. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Especially when you snap a three. You want to get it back, net. No hanging around.
A little bit of hype, eh?
Yeah. Especially with the magnetic scoreboards now, when they used to be the old nail, you could put your three and spin it a little bit, and it would go. It would swing back and forth.
Was that a little like psychological warfare? I feel like you've got a little warfare in you on that one.
100%. If team gets three on you and you put three back, you'd give it a little spin. A little extra flick to make sure that thing wobbles back and forth.
Shocking.
The magnetic scoreboard now, though.
Mike, I can't believe
you can't do it anymore.
I don't know if Paul Fleming's listening out there or not. I know he's probably not.
I'm pretty sure he's at a Bruce Springsteen concert in Toronto right now.
Second one in 3 days, not listening.
That's right.
But I'm pretty sure he'd give that scoreboard a flip.
Except when he was skipping, because skips are too cool to hang their own scores.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of time for him.
We love skips, and you got to give thirds a job because they only have to sweep 4 rocks. so they should be going up and hanging the score. I actually think for all the curlers out there that thirds should also be the one who have to look after the broom bag, because I think their job is pretty glamorous. They only sweep 4 rocks. They get to call some line.
They're in the happy medium sweet spot. Really,
it's a lot of work to be a lead, and I don't think the lead should have to carry the broom bag all the time.
They sweep the whole game. I'm with you on that.
I never really played a ton of lead, but I did always feel bad for our what was sometimes a little bit of a whipping boy or whipping girl, where that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work on that front end. You got to really want it.
You're watching us here online, logged in. Why don't you tell us what you think about this conversation online? Who should carry the broom bag is part of our initial survey for the evening. Secondary, where are you watching from? What city, what country are you watching us from tonight as we go through this quarterfinal game between Thompson and Tremblay?
Couple nice shots in there. Brophy came a little bit deep on his second one. We won't knock him off too many points for that. But Brassard has a chance here to do something pretty good.
Yes! Yes!
I do speak some amateur French. I went over and talked to the Tremblay guys for a little bit. Took 13 years of French immersion. My curling terms in French aren't 100%, mais j'aime parler français et j'ai parlé un peu aux équipes de Tremblay, and I think they appreciated it. If anybody wants me to speak French in this broadcast, you can also.
Tu parles français?
Oui, un peu.
Un petit peu.
Enough that I know, I can yell "Serré, serré," like I used to love that.
Arrête, stop.
Yeah. I found the Quebec teams always really, really hard to beat. We did well against PEI, New Brunswick, but those teams from Quebec are very, very crafty. And we got to play some great ones from Jean-Michel Menard. And,
who's on the roster this tournament.
Is he? With Felix?
With Felix,
nice.
But is not in attendance, unfortunately. So.
Still, one of my favorite curling highlights of all time is when he made that draw to the button in the Brier semifinal, and you had Pierre Charette saying, "You the best, Guy." It was incredible. Incredible stuff. Love curling in Quebec.
Pierre Charette,
love the culture there.
Pierre Charette, who now coaches who?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't. Should I know?
A little bit of curling trivia for folks, maybe on the live feed. As Mike reams off some pretty notable names here. Where does Pierre Charette coach these days?
Quebec's had some great curlers, some great teams. Some of whom who have made a name for themselves nationally, and others were just devastating and hard to beat in tournaments like Gatineau and Charlevoix. Always an innovative province too. Like they adopted when they had the curling brooms with the little curves for the sweepers, like with the handle that was horizontal. And we had the curling brand, but the Performance Curling Wear company came out of, I want to say it was a Tremblay as well.
Could have been.
And so we were looking it up. Pierre Charette is coaching Team Tirinzoni out of Italy. It's a pretty good gig.
Switzerland.
Switzerland?
Yes.
Okay.
And they won the event last year. Women's won and handed them the trophy last year. They're not here this year, unfortunately. Would have been great to have them back, but lots of trivia going to go on tonight.
I am maybe 1 for 2 on the trivia. Not
That's
knowing
fine.
where Tirinzoni was from.
That's fine. It's fine.
It sounds like pasta.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
If we take a scan of the other sheets right now. St. Georges against Quillian here on sheet 1. Not sure their score on the board is up to date. Looks like Quillian was up by 2 after the first. Not sure what happened in the second, so might still be up. Over on sheet 2, which is technically the third sheet in the club. Team Henderson up 1-0 over Inglis after 1. And over on sheet 4, we've got Team Purcell down playing with 3 over other local competitor Team Steel by 2-0.
We need some better scoreboard etiquette from those other sheets to help us keep those watching up to date. So we've ignored talking about this end. We've got Tremblay in a pretty good spot so far. They're out-shooting Thompson's team in this end. It looks like they're sitting 3.
They're definitely, I think, 1-2 right now. Yeah. So they're still in a comfortable spot, having a couple in there. And
it's an interesting call.
Not a hit. They're calling for a freeze.
Interesting call. Yeah.
They wanted. That's a really offensive move, isn't it? To call for the freeze and keep that red around to be a catcher for that yellow.
Well, and I think it's like their yellow in the middle is in a pretty good spot. So at some point, Kendall's going to have to play to the middle, and he's going to have to ignore these.
And this yellow becomes that catch, that out.
But it's an aggressive call where he just wants to sit 3. He doesn't need to hit it. I like it. He knows his boy Arsenault can draw.
This is a little heavy, though. A little inside and heavy, so this is not going to play out the way they wanted it to. However, is still third.
Lots of margin for error on that shot.
Which
he didn't need a perfect
no,
freeze there.
And really, Kendall has to ignore it at this point.
Has to. However, if ProLine is putting odds on this, or Bet365 or whichever sports betting place you prefer, all of a sudden Tremblay's feeling pretty good about hey, we want to get a multiple score here again. We might just keep kicking field goals in this game, which would be a ton of fun to watch.
Well, yeah.
Stewart's playing a little hack weight shot here. There's no great place to leave the rock. It's like nice weight control, nice shot, good sweeping. Pro curling shot. It's going to be tough now for Tremblay to get that hit and roll back under cover. So they've got to play that little hit and flop to the outside and leave a bunch of dangerous wingers. So we saw Arsenault lob a draw in there for the last time to be able to stay third shot. Now he's going to be able to play a little soft weight hit and stick to also try to sit 3. It's got to get lucky.
Bit of a miss there, but still sticks.
Yeah, you don't like that. Arsenault's not happy about that one. That takes the foot off the throat of
just a
Kendall's
little bit.
Team.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Kendal doesn't want to give up 2, but it's a heck of a lot better at this point than giving up 3.
Yeah.
And that was just enough of a relief valve where he can, because he still doesn't have a great place to hit and roll.
No. Doesn't have a lot of cover.
Nope.
Especially with that Thompson stone out at the center line just outside of the top 12. Gives him a lot of latitude to run something back if he has to on his last shot.
Kendal breaks out his trusty 8-ender sliding broom. Those things are now getting up to a vintage of 25 to 30 years old. They're antique curling brooms at this point. But a lot of curlers love that weight when they're throwing.
That's when sticks.
Ooh, that could be actually pretty cheeky if it's shot.
I don't know that it is. I think it's second.
That's good. It's
close,
important
it's close
if it's
enough.
second shot or not. But now they've got that nose double to be able to sit 3 again.
Yeah.
And erase the less than ideal shots from earlier in the end. It's where you get this point in the tournament too. You know, a lot of times you're going to win with a hot hand at skip, and this is one of those shots that it's not the end of the game. You're halfway through.
Yeah.
You make this nose double, stick it for 3. You look back at it when you're having a beer after the game, like, how did we lose? It could be on a shot like this.
This is outside, but gets it. Sticks.
Sticks it for 3. Now Kendall's in that tough spot where you don't want to give up. You can give up 2. You really don't want to give up 3. There's probably no way to force them. His options would be, if you were super aggressive and it was later in the game, you could try to draw around the center, but he's going to try to hit and roll. In a perfect world, maybe you just bump that back yellow out of the house.
Yeah.
And then the team walks away and they give up a deuce and say, hey, we got out-curled that end. Let's play better. Let's make our next 8. It's got a curl. And he just rolls it open. And so for the 3rd straight end, we have an open hit for 3.
Trading some big scores here so far.
This is like, we used to call these like heavyweight battles where you just you're not sure, like, neither team's playing bad.
Nope, and nobody's missing. No, they're not missing.
No.
They're all making great shots, but they're definitely leaving it out there for these 2 and 3 enders that
we've seen, like the left cross, right cross, upper hook or uppercut.
Where this gets interesting is if we're going to get into these with 4 and 5s.
I mean, we got 16 slots on the scoreboard. We should have room to be able to keep making 3s all the way through. You got to hold this one up, actually. Oh, you got it. No problem.
He's got it.
No problem. Hey, sweepers at this level
So,
are so good, they can just hold them up easy.
Trading scores of 3 so far. 3-3-3. The end of the 3rd. We've got ourselves a game. 6-3.
6-3-3. Anybody who had that on their bingo card,
yeah,
congratulations on your payout.
I don't know who's betting that one,
No, not
but
very often.
Nothing is as exquisite as the enchanting crimson and golden tapestry of fall. When revving your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall for Subaru at your local Subaru dealer today.
We're back now into the fourth end, and we're trading lots of scores here for what was, even in the first end, we thought they were playing really safe and quite conservative, and all of a sudden a 3 popped out, and then here we are.
I'd say first end was angles. Second end, we had a couple better shots by the back end on the Thompson team that got them in a spot, and Tremblay missed. And then in that third end, the front end for Tremblay had it set up better. They had the rocks in better spots. So there's a lot of ways to get a 3. You really don't expect to see 3 of them in a row. Why not make it 4? You never start an end trying to get 3 either, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know that that's ever, like, I feel like as an end develops, you get that intention for a goal when you know 3 or 4 might be on the line, but you never go into an end saying we're going to get a 3 this end, unless you know you need to in the 7th into the 8th, and you know you need to do it to survive. The first 2 or 3 ends, you're like, let's just not lose the house here.
You're still banking on either a really killer shot by somebody on your team to get a perfect angle or a miss from the other team. So Kendal is probably not thinking, let's try to make this 6-6 through 4. He's probably saying, let's get a multiple. Let's get ourselves in a good position. Let's get some good angles. Maybe we get a miss out of Tremblay. We get this thing at the fourth end break to 6-5, which is a crazy score through 4. But try to keep it a ball game. Whereas Tremblay would love to give him 1. He'd love to just force him and take hammer into the 5th with a bit of a lead. Caught just a little let's stay focused from Team Tremblay, which you really can't tell yourself enough. If there's any junior killers still awake, it's only 9 o'clock. Of course you're awake. Watching this kind of thing, the difference between the teams that are in these quarterfinals and the teams that are playing the tournament all week long is communication, sweeping. It's the little things, the couple extra shots here or there. Every one of the teams in this tournament are good shooters, and they play really, really well. But you watch these 2 teams out here, and they're constantly talking. They're looking at every little strip of ice. They're talking about times all the time. They're making sure that the boys are focused, that their release is good. They're watching how the rock's going down the sheet. Just a bunch of busy beavers out there, nobody taking any time off. That's often the difference between
that is the difference.
Being upstairs drinking right now or in the heat of the event.
Well, and also being willing to receive that feedback that, you know, your last shot wasn't your best or you weren't in or out, and being able to adjust. You have to be able to receive that and not take it personal to make your next shot better.
Totally.
And that's the difference, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Nice shot. Great shot. Beautiful weight. Good call by Broussard. Kind of as the outside sweeper. His job is to be able to tell them what that weight is. He said it was just hack. He was exactly right. It tapped that top rock, rubbed the yellow, didn't get out of the house. He knew the exact weight call, gave Tremblay a chance to call the right line. And now, as a result, yellow's in a great spot. And Bryce has got a very, very tough shot. So they want to do a little back 8 shot. Ideally get nose, maybe a little inside the nose if they can on that top yellow. Sweepers are saying a little light. And
knowing it's going to hit on that guard, just roll it over, create try to create some kind of opening for them to still come down and dig out these 2 yellows.
Yeah, that was a straight light. Sweepers knew it. Bryce knew it. You get on ice like this with like that nice curl and that really sensitive to the release. You're a little bit light, and your sweepers have almost an impossible job.
Let's see, Tremblay call here for throw a third stone in and try to guard the 2 that they have in that 4-foot.
Nice center guard by Jean-Michel. Jean-Michel is an automation technician, which I have no idea what that means.
Lots of things to automate these days.
Lots of things.
Could be your house.
Yeah.
Could be a factory. He didn't tell us what it was, so we can take some editorial liberances with that.
We're only good as the information we get. We have a couple people who work for government agencies.
Yeah.
No clue. They could be aliens or your taxes. Could be anything.
They could be 007s. They could be spies.
Anything. I mean, Julien has told us he's a phys ed teacher. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we know what that is.
Michael Brophy's a drinking water specialist. I have no idea what that means.
Well, drinking water is important. If we take it literal, that's a pretty important role. If it's with some liberance, maybe, drinking water at bars. We don't know.
There's only so many specialists in that field.
And he's not here to refute it. So
Michael
he's on the ice.
One of them. Yeah.
He's on the ice putting it all out there, trying to win this game, down by 3.
Frozen drinking water specialist right now.
After 4 ends.
Yep. Hard.
Bryce Everest here.
Yes, hard.
Makes
Nice shot by Bryce.
Makes the double.
Good shot.
When you're down 3 in the 4th, you'd prefer if your second is not trying to bail you out on shots.
Yeah, you don't want that second to be the bailout.
No.
You like to be setting up for
That's early.
the chess match.
Yeah, that's early. But for the team with Bryce in that situation, your contact is the most important. He has to make the situation better for Stewart. And to be able to run it straight back, get the contact on the yellow, whatever else happens from there is just kind of a bonus.
Yeah.
Even a perfect shot from Bryce as opposed to a 90% perfect shot doesn't really make that much of a difference.
No.
He needed to be able to make a better situation for Stewart than he was facing, and he did.
Just gets by that top guard, comes down. It's going to sit nicely behind those 2 red Thompson stones and full 4-foot.
The other one as well.
Yep. Anybody like me who has not been watching Tremblay all week is starting to get a sign of why these guys are 4-0, because when you've got the other team trying to bail out down 3 with their second rock, and then you drop another one top 4 under a double guard situation, that's how you beat teams. That's how you beat teams on a regular basis, by being able to just keep that pressure on. And Jesse Mullen there throwing that second rock and dropping it in perfect top 4, that's the definition of keeping pressure on.
Yes. Hard. Gotta go. Hard.
Makes the hit, rolls out under. It's going to stick around to the paint, and that at this point could be.
Yeah, that's a sneaky one.
That could be a game changer here at the end of this end.
Yeah, you can't see the corner guard on the screen that's far up there, but that rock's fully buried. So Tremblay would probably love to deal with it, but he has no choice. He's got to stay aggressive here, probably put another one in top 8. And this is where now his third stone, Julien Tremblay, needs to Jean-Michel Arsenault needs to stay on it and keep the pressure on.
We're going to have a little chat about this one, though, first. looking at maybe a small split here just to get more yellow in the paint.
Yeah, I don't like it.
A lot of risk with doing that.
We always we like making the other team throw the hard shots, especially when you have the lead. You're up 6-3. Try to take the straightforward shots and make them really, really well. And then if you make your straightforward shots well, you make the other team play harder shots. So trying to play a little split to get 2 rocks that outcount that red one.
No.
It would be great if you make it. It's harder than you need to play when you're up 6-3.
Yeah.
You drop one down on the top of the U of curling, or like just biting the top 8 right now, and you've got red on the ropes.
They're still looking at it though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're thinking it's hard to get around the center and around that corner and get your yellow rock into a good spot, but they could play the straight out turn draw around the and miss that yellow rock instead of playing the in turn and miss the red rock.
But in fairness to them, they're thinking, especially being obviously playing very well this week, up, saying, what's the risk even if we over or under hit that? The shooter's going to roll under and provide some type of protection for our stone in the top 4. Might not be direct protection, but it's going to be over there.
It's just not a shot. If Jean-Michel's played 80 draws this week, he's probably only played 2 or 3 splits.
Splits, yeah.
So, it's just a shot he doesn't, it's not very often he's asked to throw back 12 split where a top 8 draw.
Back 8 split. Yeah. This is the call.
Yeah. Love to see it. Huge communication shot here. Skip needs to hear from the sweepers. Sweepers need to hear from the skip.
It's coming down nice. Looks like it's going to be a little more nose, but as it dies speed, it's going to come. And
how about this? When you're good, you're good.
Wow. Wow.
And when you can't make shots like that, you sit here in the announcing booth and you say you should have drawn top 8. That's a perfect shot. Perfect shot.
He drew top 8. He just got there a different way.
I mean, hey.
He drew top 8 with back 8 weight. Just to put that in perspective, that's what just happened here.
Which is ideal for his team. You don't have to worry about strategy when your boys are playing really, really well and they make every shot that you put the broom down for. When they throw the right weight on the right line, strategy takes a backseat.
Now this opens up an interesting opportunity for Kendal to ask his brother Stuart to throw a little bit of weight at this and opportunity for a double. Catches the high end of the top stone. Could even be a
it's
triple.
there. Oh, there's something there for sure.
And not going to get over enough.
Yeah, but I like that shot, though.
Keeps a red in play.
Yeah. He's got that red right under
and Tremblay both put their brooms at the same spot at the same time for where they want to go for that next shot. Clearly in unison for what they're thinking for this game.
Yeah, you get signs why this Tremblay team's 4-0, and they're on the same page. They're throwing the right weight. They're hitting the broom. There's a lot of stuff going right for this team right now. Didn't get a chance to ask him if he's actually a Jays fan, or do we just like the peculiar Jays hat that he's wearing?
I mean, well, season's over. He must be a Jays fan.
It was a tough year to be a Jays fan. I'm a big Jays fan, and it was a tough year. But I do like it. Looks good with the green and black of their uniforms. What would look even better is if he offsets a freeze here on that top red rock.
It's coming down nicely. They're past that guard. They're going to get just a little bump, and you can't ask for more than that.
No. On the money. Yeah. That's a on-off sweep. Skip just puts it exactly where he was looking at it. He's feeling it for sure. Yeah, you're right. You get a fist bump for that. So now Kendal is in the unfortunate position of needing to get the skipper's deuce. The scoring area is shut down to basically the button, maybe full 4. So he's trying to wrap an out-turn draw around there, touch a piece of the button, and hope to get a miss out of Tremblay to be able to keep this game in a decent spot after 4 ends.
Kendal Thompson with his first of 2 here at the 4th end. Also a follower of his rock.
Come on, you gotta get him. Come on.
Sweeping it in. And they're going to be shot rock on this one. And what a clutch draw there, huh?
Way to go, Kendal. Rob and I are not sitting here cheering for any particular team. We're cheering for shots, and that was a very good one.
That was
a very good shot.
Clutch shot.
Yeah.
We've seen lots of great shots by Tremblay as well that we'll definitely cheer for. And happy to see this kind of caliber of curling here at the Curling Club this week. And as we watch the other games and the teams that are here, it's been a real treat.
That's a combination of a great surface, some people that have been working on it and working hard on it all year long. You can't just prep ice you can't cram for the final exam and have great ice. It's been excellent here at the Halifax Curling Club for a while, and then to be able to dial it in with the extra attention and draw times and extra help and expertise to give these great players a great surface to be able to make shots like that.
Yeah.
To keep these games interesting. We appreciate it. Players appreciate it for sure. You love being able to play on a sheet of ice where you can make any shot and you pretty much know when you let it go if you made it or not.
Taking the playing field out of it and just relying on your skill.
Yeah. It's not always the case around here, but it is the case at Halifax Curling Club right now. Makes it a great host for an event of this caliber. So now Tremblay's been in control all end, and all of a sudden they're back on their heels a little bit, and it looks like maybe they're just trying to force the 1 point.
This is dying off really hard. I don't think they wanted it that high. Wanted to be behind that guard, and now
I think Kendall's got the same draw effectively again to get in there for that second point.
Basically just threw the same shot.
Big time shot for the skip. Big time shot for the sweepers. There's a lot of stuff that's got to go on to be able to make this count for 2.
Thompson with his last shot here on the 4th.
Sweepers are just thinking T-line. And obviously they're thinking it's a bit heavy for that.
Yeah. The sweepers aren't even down near it. This unfortunately is going to run its way through, and they're already starting to clear rocks. And Thompson's going to take their 1 and move on with certainly a miss here in a very competitive game of not being able to get their deuce. And we're going to see the score go to 6-4 into the 5th.
4th end break. Let's go get our oranges.
Hey, curling fans, I'm standing here in front of Sheet Stew here at the High Park Club, and I just want to let you know that I'm so excited to sponsor the sport of curling, to help curling out. So you can go to stewcurls.com, see all my events, see the Stew Sell series, but you know what? I also sell real estate as well. So you need to buy a house, list a house, condo, rental, business. Look, give me Stu a call.
Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer today.
here in the fifth end with Team Thompson against Team Tremblay. Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic brought to you by Steel Subaru for our men's event and Neon Train for the women's. Partner sponsors are the Curling Store, Crombie Reet, Scotia Square, Murphy Hospitality Group, PEI Brewing Company, and our supporting sponsors are Stanhope Simpson Insurance and Stu Sells Realty. Lots of entertainment on here tonight. Free admission. Come on down. Great curling on. This is the quarterfinal in the men's event, Tremblay versus Thompson. Happy to have you here with us. And 6-4, trade of some big scores at the beginning. Tremblay up by 3. Thompson responded with 3. Then another 3 by Tremblay. And then in this last end, Thompson had opportunity for 2, but pulled out a single. So lands us at 6-4. And into the fifth. Not a panic moment yet for Thompson, but definitely wants to think about clawing just that one more step back.
We got that classic setup. You got the top 4 and then the guard. See if we can get the little come around freeze.
Tight. Go ahead. Line's good. Gotta go line. Line's good. Line's good. Bryce, just stay down though. Stay down for line. Line's good. Very nice. Good shot.
3 perfect shots to start.
That's a pistol.
C'était combien?
You draw a lot of ends up like this when you're practicing. This next one's a sneaky big one for a lead. Other than being down or in a close game in a final end, getting a rock welded on top of that red one is about as big as it gets for a lead shot here.
C'est large.
C'est large means he thinks it's a little bit heavy.
Les deux.
But when a lead says c'est large, they're usually not off by much.
Go.
I like it. Good shot. Good shot. It was not large.
It's still good, Bryce.
This game is bringing us a little joy of pace of play. We're ahead of all the other 4 games on the sheet.
Line's good. Just top 12. Line only. Just top 12. Line's really good. Top 8.
This one's got to chill a little bit.
Really close. Straight. Always straight. It just has to stop.
This one's going to come down and
Still fine.
It's pretty good.
just tap a little bit on the Tremblay stone, and they're happy with that. Now Tremblay's going to say, time to already start cleaning up.
Whenever we'd look at being, so they're up 2 with hammer, getting into the back half of the game now. Their goal as a team is to make sure Tremblay has an open shot on his last rock. They don't want him playing some kind of crazy run back or
doesn't need to be complicated for them.
No. The game's not in hand for them yet, but if they start leaving their skip shots that are way harder than Kendal needs to play, then this game could turn on its head pretty quick.
Happy that you're following us here tonight. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. It would be great to hear. Always like to see how far away the world of curling brings us. Last few games, we've had people as far away as Scotland.
We might have a pick here.
Australia. What's that?
Across. Might be a pick. Everybody's looking down. Okay, they got it. Yeah, they got it across. No picks.
Let us know where you're watching from. That super high guard by Team Thompson now.
I think based on the way that Bryce was acting there, assuming that he wasn't faking it for his stats, it looked like it had something in his hand early. Team Tremblay was checking out in front of the house here. You don't see very, very many picks anymore with the brooms and the gear and everything the way it is, but they happen. Usually it comes from footprints or warm spots on the ice.
I did hear over the ice commentating the other day, somebody saying about somebody having a dirty gripper on the ice because they could see it all over the place. And we use that opportunity to tell competitive and curling rec people to change their gripper every year.
Yeah.
It's like kind of the public service announcements.
Keep it clean, a little bit of hot water and a scrub brush gets rid of all the junk that's inside it, builds up a little gunk over time. Donald McDermott was the lead that I played the most with, and the other thing that I think is discounted is his hot feet. So the heat used to travel straight through the bottom of his foot, through his gripper, and used to leave marks on the ice.
Oh.
And we never found that it affected the rock very much, but you want to throw off another team early in the game, they start to see double footprints going down the sheet, and you just think there's no way this.
Now, were these traditional curling shoes, or were these sneakers converted?
Traditional curling shoes.
All right.
Yeah, I would have loved to say that we used this to our advantage. We were really trying to minimize it ourselves. So other teams would get pissed off, but we were no less happy about it than they were.
Yeah, okay. But this angle's still not good for that. I like that.
The surface is so important, though, in making good shots. You want to keep it as good as you possibly can. Every curler feels that responsibility. Nobody's trying to drop junk on it or warm it up or anything along those lines. Sometimes you just get lost in the moment where you're putting your fingers down or your feet might be a little warm. Pretty precise shot here by Stu. I'm guessing they're playing a little back eight weight, maybe just a little bump on their top red rock.
Hey, heard Kendal saying that they didn't like the angles, so they want to try to just
the angles aren't
readjust here a little bit. But this is hanging out there a little bit, actually.
Curl. Curl. Whoa. Curl. Straight. Whoa. I don't know.
It's a good shot.
That's all right.
The angles still aren't great for red, but they're better. I don't know if Stu could have made that shot much better.
Hearing lots of rocks over there on our sheet 2 next to us, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rocks in play there. So competitive quarterfinals this evening, as teams are vying a place into the semis tomorrow and ultimately trying to get into the finals tomorrow afternoon. Semis are tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you're interested, either here online or in person, again, free admission here at the club. Finals are tomorrow at 2.
Thick half. Yeah, 2/3.
Nice shot by Tremblay, but still a chance here for Stu to keep his team in a good spot.
Right. Good start.
That's a good shot.
Makes a shot, sticks around, and
I think in
Thompson,
a perfect world they wanted to do that flat roll and kick that
just
yellow rock off the center line a little bit, but still in a good spot. It's an interesting shot here coming up for Arsenal. I think you got to be careful with the angles. You don't want to create an angle where they can't get at the next good shot that Thompson plays. Got a couple different options here.
Yep.
You can hit that red, but you don't want to roll over onto the yellow so that you can't get at the whatever happens on the button.
The team's all looking at it, and they've all decided it looks like they think they can hit and at least get one and maybe pick both of them out.
I think like straight nose on the red rock is really good. And then they're thinking if
they're outside just a little bit, they tick it. Yeah,
shave
they
it
just
across
tick
the top. Yeah. But any
first shots first, get rid of that one.
Any farther outside than that, you're asking for trouble.
Bumper!
Bumper's the right weight.
Bumper!
It's a good start.
Guess bumper in French is same as English.
Bumper in French, it's a universal language on this curling ice right now.
And we're going to get the hit, and will they get that red and just
it over a bit?
Tap it?
Go!
Nice.
So Tremblay still sitting shot. Thompson 2. Tremblay 3-4. We're down to skip stones. Tremblay leading by 2.
It's kind of a tough spot for Kendal too. There's not really a good spot that he can put his rock. There's bad spots.
Just like lock one down here.
But Team Tremblay's rocks are in good enough spots where it's hard for Kendal to be aggressive here. Even if he tried to play that out-turn double from the rock that's top 12 to the one on the button, he's still only sitting 1.
Yeah, I hear him talking about trying to make the double, but
you got to get shot rock at some point. So he's got the other option is he could play the in-turn with maybe a back line weight, which he's looking at there, onto the red rock, onto the yellow.
Or you can like, this is probably the best shot, a little wick. That's definitely. Yeah, control wick. Yeah, just
on the in-turn.
What do you do?
Yeah. Just control. Yeah, that's the worst rock for us. Yeah.
I phoned a friend, just like who wants to be a millionaire, and I've got Skip Felix Aslan next to me, and I said, what would you do? He goes, they're in trouble. So I couldn't get a call out of him.
I like it.
Verified our call from the booth.
I don't mind. Double on these top 2 yellows, it looks like is what they're calling, which puts you in.
Cuts down the damage.
Yeah,
right?
puts you in the driver's seat. Yeah, a little bit, if you can be in the driver's seat for Thompson at this point. It's only about a control weight shot.
Don't think they get both of them out with control weight.
Curl.
They get one, replace the stone, and stay. So they're not running for the double.
As
here.
Felix wisely said, they're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Yeah.
Sit. Good try.
Okay, so they like it.
Gives them an angle to at least clear.
I don't know.
One out on their next shot without disrupting their second shot.
So I think Thompson is at a point now where at some point you just got to realize where you're at in the end, and I think what they would love to do is concede 1 point to Tremblay, and they're trying to figure out how do we make sure we only force them
just
to
give up one
instead of trying to steal, because the angles were never on their side. So in that case, it's a great shot for Kendal. Forces Julien into a really, really tough draw, trying to get an angle on the red or trying to be shot at the button. If they go shot on the button, you're going to give Kendal a chance to get out of this end and maybe steal. So I think the angle on the red, just park at top 4 would be perfect.
on, wait. Top 8. Top 8. Yep.
Go, go, go! Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Sweeper's trying to make it perfect now. That's pretty darn good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I like the way this Tremblay team is playing. They're quiet. They're quiet, but they're killers. Like they're putting the rocks in good spots with draws.
Very good spots.
Yeah, just not giving Thompson any mistakes to work with.
Not that they've had
all.
misses, but if maybe they're faking their misses, they're missing on the right side of it the whole time.
Yeah,
there's not really been a blatant miss where you're like, wow,
No.
they really went far away on that one.
Never heavy, giving everything to the sweepers, giving themselves a chance to put the rock in a good spot. I like it. It's the way you're supposed to curl.
So smoking that is no. It's
Oh, if only.
It's not that easy.
If only it was
It's not-
that easy.
Yeah, it's not that easy. I can do that Thursday at 5:30. Hard to do it quarterfinals in a tournament that matters
the 2 is the issue, right?
against a very good team.
Yeah, both teams playing really well here, and even just the score, Thompson being down by 2, isn't really indicative of the type of play that we've seen here.
No, it's compounding. I think across the board, maybe Tremblay's team's playing a little bit better lead through skip, and that just changes the angles and makes the shots harder, like I was talking about earlier. If you can make the other team throw harder shots all game long,
Yeah.
you're going to win a ton.
Make it perfect and roll perfect.
Let's just take a listen to what they're talking about here.
Yeah, we just guard the 1. Well, he's running it in for 3. But yeah.
So you mentioned earlier they're happy to give up the 1, and it looks like that's what they're playing towards right now.
100%. You're trying to make sure that you can see everything that's on the table right now and just say, okay, let's block his draw. I've got a story about this guard if I can get it in time. So one of the things I always find, skips are consistently tight on this shot. As a sweeper, I've swept 100 of them. Skips, when you have to block a draw, it's hard for a skip to get far enough out. And I would always, as a front end curler, I would always lobby to play this shot inside out. So if you put the broom, instead of being way out on the 12 foot,
yeah,
we'll see if they stick to the same shot before I go on my rant.
Oh.
Maybe they're catching up.
He's listening to you.
Either that or he's throwing a hit. I actually don't know what they changed the call to. But when you're trying to block the draw as a skip to try to go wider than they need to go, almost always ends up in a shot.
We'd rather your miss be on the inside than the outside if that was the case. So if you're going inside out, if your miss is inside,
it's
but if
easier
you're going
to block
out,
the draw
you're never
going
coming in.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
I argued about that till I was blue in the face as a front end curler, and it never worked in my favor.
They've changed the shot though.
Big time.
Shooter.
Love it.
That's great.
What an audible.
What an audible. What a great shot. And now how the angles have changed. But it's not a gimme.
No, Julien Tremblay has the same shot for 2, but it's harder because that red rolled in a little bit.
And that red could still tick that top yellow on the sea of curling and roll over top of their own shot.
I mean, that's just a tremendous shot by Kendal. There's nothing more that's at no point did this end feel like it was going to turn into a steal.
That a steal of 1.
No,
it was a safe try to save against 1 or 2 as a loss, and now they're looking at this, and none of these angles are perfect for what they want to do, and even if they make the shot they want, a wrecking here could still leave with Kendal with 1 or 2 as a steal. They still have that one on the back 12 too. That be careful here.
Yeah, I'd say this is, in terms of degree of difficulty, this is probably the hardest shot that Tremblay's thrown today. So let's see it. Let's see his intern rep. See if he's got it.
Last shot here in the 5th end. Julien Tremblay up by 2.
Bumper up's an interesting weight call. I thought this was going to be coming out quite a bit harder than this. It's not close.
No. Interesting weight call for sure.
Yeah.
Like even heavier weight, even if you wreck, you're still got 2 stones there in the top 4. Make one of Thompson's goes away, and that was an interesting miss.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I mean,
Not characteristic of them all game at all.
Kendall's happy about that one. Great shot from him. A better shot than Julien was able to manufacture on his last shot. Adds up to a steal. And we just keep throwing heavyweight punches in this game.
We've got a 6-5 game now. Crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing is as exquisite as the enchanting crimson and golden tapestry of fall. When revving your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Fall for Subaru at your local Subaru dealer today.
No, I didn't say it was from Pakistan.
I wrote a message on the chat.
Oh, that was you? Oh, that was
And then I asked about Randy Furby.
We're back for the all-important 6th end. In an 8-end game, scoring in the 6th end is about as important as scoring in the 8th. About, not fully, but it's close. You want to score in 6. Tremblay's got the hammer. They were up 3. We've got Thompson battling back. Big steal in 5. Didn't really see that steal coming. And now this game's tight. We got the center guard and the top 8 thrown up. We like that. That is textbook lead rocks. On sheet 1, we've got Quillen is up 4-3, playing the 6th. On sheet 2, which is technically sheet 3, they're playing the 5th end, and we've got Inglis up 4-2 with Henderson, your Scottish champions, with hammer. And then on sheet 4, we've got Colton Steele with a 4-2 lead over the threesome of Owen Purcell. Owen Purcell on his way to national mixed and not able to finish out this event with his boys.
Really good, Mike. Really good.
So here we've got the double centers. Oh, but it didn't touch the line. So we got Michael Brophy hanging his head. He would have loved to see that one on the center line.
Tremblay doesn't care. He's going to go in behind his own.
Nope. Doesn't matter if that's touched.
Should make Mike feel better about that. It doesn't matter.
It's really a non-issue. It's more of a pride thing as the lead. You want to touch the center line every time. In practice, you would play games on how many, for sure, Michael Brophy, when he sits there and practices being a lead, how many rocks in a row can I throw to touch the center line, get as tight to the house as possible, and then keep working them back progressively to the hog line. I'm sure he does that drill all the time. You want to see that rock stop on the center line, especially when your sweepers are there to help. And then here we got another reason that Tremblay's leading this game. Like that's perfect weight on each of their draws. They got this draw weight for this Halifax Curling Club ice in their back pocket right now.
Line's good.
This is a tight shot for a second. Bryce didn't have the luxury of being able to go down and see it. He's going to listen to Kendall. Kendall's saying, hey, just throw it top 8, lob it in there. We'll get the sweepers to put it in a good spot. He's trying to get an angle on it that sets them up for their next one. Yeah, and you can't do it any better than that. That is just letter perfect. I'm telling you, anybody who's watching this program and has not watched Bryce Evers curl before, he's a killer.
Oh, for sure. And you know, curling is a small world. Teams break up, they get back together. They break up, they get back together. And Bryce has played with Kendall for a long time, and, you know.
And then they do that to you.
And then they
was that Jesse Mullen throwing that rock?
Yeah.
Incredible. That's just a perfect curling shot. That's very annoying as a second when you lob a couple good draws in there. I was ready to give Bryce all of his flowers, talking about how he's a baby daddy to Carly Jones, who plays with Christina Black.
But you still can, because he still needs to make those shots.
Sure.
And despite what they just did there, if Bryce doesn't make that shot, it doesn't force Tremblay and his team to do the same. So,
Perfect shot by Mullen.
Yeah.
Bryce is still very good, no matter what the opposition does. His wife is still Carly, who curls with Christina Black. Christina Black's been on an awesome roll, winning a Tier 2 slam event.
They've been
incredible.
Just tearing it
they're
up.
playing great. And a fun team to cheer for, too. Like good curlers on that team that are nice people. And Bryce and Carly have young kids or kid, I'm not sure. One. And so I was talking to Bryce last year at the Tankard, and he was here, and the Tankard and the Scotties, and Carly was obviously right in the mix. Bryce had kids to look after. It's tough. It's tough to manage this professional curling spiel and also have kids at home, and having a wife who's also a competitive curler makes it that much tougher, but Bryce takes it in stride.
And they're a very accomplished mixed doubles duo.
Incredible.
Too.
Yeah.
It just doesn't end, right? It just doesn't end.
Don't bait.
You got to get to those 10,000 hours somehow.
Yeah.
Another textbook draw by Team Tremblay. We've seen that steadily through 5 ends. I haven't seen them miss a draw yet. Sweepers haven't even really worked that hard. The boys are in their, one of them's still in long sleeves, which means that you're not working your sweepers that hard if they're not in T-shirts. Now, he is the third, Jean-Michel Arsenault, still wearing the long sleeves.
Sorry, I feel like that's taken from a true front-ender.
It is, but it also backs up my claim that I think third should have to carry the broom bag because their job is the softest.
If you missed that discussion, I think we were in the first end when we had that discussion.
Yeah.
Third should carry the broom bag. That's what we're being told.
I 100% believe that. They've got the most cherry job on the team. They sweep the least next to the skip. The skip's got a hard job. Third doesn't have to sweep a ton. They get to play all the fun shots, and as a result, they should have to carry the broom bag.
I've got a former third next to me right now. Should thirds have to carry the broom bag? Yeah, a former third. Did you carry it when you were a third?
I carry it still to this day.
You carry it now as a skip.
I carry the damn thing everywhere.
Why you? Because nobody else will? You're the only one you trust. You're the only one you trust with your brooms? Is this what we're saying?
I would actually agree.
Just a little sidebar conversation here. I was asking an expert, Skip Felix Asselin, who has also been a third for several years on previous teams, who carried the broom bag on his teams, and he did when he was a third, and he still does when he's a skip. I think there's a little bit of a control thing going on there.
Might be.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
At least he takes ownership of the brooms.
Yeah.
Can I repeat that? That you would trust Martin with it, but JF, no. JF and
No, you can't trust. You can't trust Skip with the broom bag.
Felix only trusts Martin, and that's it. So you have the answers here from that team, who's watching silently here on the wings.
Whoa, curl.
It's a little bit of a different end. Nobody in a great spot.
No,
And
this
continues
has
nobody in a great spot.
probably been the loosest end that we've seen so far.
Definitely, yeah. A little bit of attrition here, a few misses. For Tremblay, you don't hate it. There's 4 corner guards up there. There's lots of place to hide. You're sitting your second rock. For Kendal, you still don't hate it because Tremblay's not in a great spot and can still easily be suckered into another steal, which there's nothing Thompson wants more than a steal in 6 and to be able to try to force Tremblay to a point in 1 in 7.
Come home in 8 with hammer.
100%. In a game that never felt like a win for them right out of the gates. all of a sudden the sequence is there where you could be in a position of advantage going into the 8th end.
But again, both teams here, despite the point swings, playing so good and really no big misses. Just, we're down to super accuracy here now, super delicate shots, and neither team is losing it for themselves. They're both playing hard.
Which to me, that's credit to the surface, credit to Adam and the volunteers that are making the ice out here. That gives the best players this week the chance to make the best shots over and over again, which is what you get when you're in the quarters and the semis. The final's a crapshoot. Anybody could win the final once they get there. But the quarters and the semis, we always felt like that's where you had to play your very best curling.
It's
the final, you're going to have anything can happen.
As a former hockey player myself, that's playoff hockey. You're into the playoffs, right?
Yeah. When you're into the final, you're changing your flights around. It's like you're dealing with other stuff with life, and you're lying to your girlfriend and your wife, and be like, "Oh, sorry." You're calling your employer, be like, "This thing actually goes till Monday. I didn't realize."
I'm actually a really good curler. You didn't know? I'm not. I'm good. And I mean, yourself, you've been to the Briar twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
And that must have been fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. But it's like, so these guys are in the. I love this point. I love this point of the season where it flips to November.
Yeah.
Because when you're practicing, you train in the summertime. You start curling in August, maybe if you're lucky. Then September, you start to play a couple events. Yeah. October is like you're trying to pay for your season. Mm-hmm. If you have a couple good events, if you qualify here or there, you'd be like, great. Like we're not in a spot where we're going to lose a bunch of money this year. Once November clicks, there's something about the colder temperatures, the different events where you're like, okay, now we're into it. Now
game on.
Yeah, now it's curling season. So
and trying to peak at the right time.
You figured yourself out as teammates. Yeah. Your calendar is set. You're in a little bit of a routine. Your family is used to you leaving on a Wednesday and coming home upset on a Sunday. Your employer knows what's going on. It's just different. It's a different vibe when you get in November, which is a cool timing for this tournament because these teams have gone from, hey, we're just getting going and we're still feeling our releases and our kicks, and now they're curling. Now they're actually playing this game.
Yeah, I know.
Which is easy to talk about when you're in the quarterfinals because the teams that might have just missed it might have been a game off, or maybe they lost on the draw to the button or whatever it might be. They're still scratching their heads trying to figure it out, saying, hey, we got lots of time left in the season. Whereas the teams that we're watching here tonight, they're playing well.
Yeah.
They're winning some games, they're beating some games, or beating some teams, and they want to try to keep this roll going and see how much better they can get.
If you're not watching Thompson in Nova Scotia, and if you're not watching Tremblay in Quebec, you're not watching curling.
No. And if you're not watching Tremblay in Quebec, you're not watching an absolute clinic on draw weight, because these guys have been money on dropping the rock at the top of the house without much sweeping on a regular basis.
The shots have been really well.
Yeah. From across the board, too. Not one curler, all of them. That's advanced. We need a third headset here for Felix.
There? That's like just outside the 4 foot.
Next end? Do you want to do next end? You want to go with him next end?
Sure.
The other thing we thought about is like a hack waiter.
So we got Thompson in now. Big trouble. Can he get it, or does he have to run it for the double?
Well, they can run it.
Yeah.
They might not get both, though.
This is where perfect
the one in the
weight.
middle might sandwich and just stick.
I think it's there.
If they get a bit of an angle on it, they'll get both.
On the run back.
If they hit them straight on.
Yeah. There's two shots that are real killers in curling. Perfect draw weight is one killer, and a perfect hit and roll is the other killer. It's really, really hard to follow. So now I thought Kendal would be throwing this way harder. So maybe he's just drawing around the guard, trying to get shot rock and hoping that Tremblay is going to get a miss.
Which at this point, I mean, the run back
it's
hit.
the right call.
It's the right call.
Yeah, sure.
Curl now, curl now.
Put it right on the T line.
He's got to be shot though. If he's not, he's got to be shot.
He's got that.
That's
back.
what a great shot. That's
Really
a
nice.
really nice shot. And it isn't nicely buried behind that guard that they like. It really forces them to make a good shot here.
That's a do or die shot. Tremblay snaps a 3 here, and it's really, really tough.
Yeah.
Quel poids? Okay.
So I do like it. Tribute to like nice curly ice. He's going to be able to come down here. I'm guessing it's going to be a hack back line, hack weight shot where he's just going to try to bump that red back and sit 3.
Yeah, it's got to be a safe weight that even if they tick or wicket, that they're not losing their shooter for sure.
He doesn't have to move it very far.
No.
Up and down.
Really got to trust the broom here on this one, don't you?
Yeah. Team shot. Get your sweepers involved. Get your line caller involved. Would love to hear a little more communication from the sweepers.
This is really coming down, and they're going to hit. And
oh,
wow.
Wow. Steal
and all of a sudden,
6.
this game is just taking a different turn.
So
but you know what?
I don't want to criticize, but
huge
hey.
credit to Kendal with that last shot.
Great draw.
And putting it in there
Perfect
and not
spot.
getting drawn to trying to do that takeout. And look where we're at.
Perfect
It's,
spot. So now he's stolen that 6, and all of a sudden advantage Thompson. For the first time all games since the first end, advantage.
Nothing is as exquisite as the enchanting crimson and golden tapestry of fall. When revving your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Fall for Subaru at your local Subaru dealer today.
Mike,
They need to do anything?
a couple times to the Briar with Murphy, so knows his shit.
against Robert. No, not Robert. Robert. What was his name? Robert. No, crazy guy, spiky hair. Desjardins. Yeah, Desjardins. Yeah, and Jean-Michel the other year. Yeah.
Oh, you were there?
All right, we have a guest announcer on the mic now. We have Rob. We're tapping out Rob. We're bringing in Felix Asselin, defending champion. He won this thing last year, right?
Yes, but we won't be defending champions for more than tomorrow. Yeah, we won't be defending champions for more than tomorrow afternoon, but yeah, we won it last year, and we were glad to be back this year, and it's always a great event.
Still your face on the posters, and you get the trip down to Halifax and get to enjoy everything we're bringing out here.
Yeah, this is like one of our main events every year. It's always great ice and good competition. We love the Halifax hospitality, and yeah, we just like playing in it.
Nice. So, okay. So let's be realistic here. Kendal Thompson's been on the ropes the entire game. Snap a steal in the 6th out of nowhere. Basically, Tremblay had control of the end. One nice draw, one little miss. Steal in the 6th, and all of a sudden now they're going to try to force Tremblay to 1 in 7 and take control of the game when they really haven't had it since the handshakes in the 1st.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's a game Tremblay has been having the edge on, definitely for the first, but even the first 6 ends, even that full 6th end, he had control. There was no center guards, and that chase I thought he would make. Probably there was a high chance he would make that chase. This steal though actually puts the Thompson's team right back in it.
Yeah, arguably in control, really, if they can get a force here and put some shots in some good spots.
It's not quite 50-50 yet, but it's gotten definitely a lot better with the steal. Yeah,
way closer. Tremblay's draw weight, the whole team has been incredible all game. Like I've watched it. I played second for most of my career. So you watch it from a sweeper's perspective, and the sweepers on Tremblay's team really have not worked that hard to get the draws into almost perfect spots.
Yeah, they played us actually earlier today, and it was the same thing. They had good control on both hits and draws, and they're playing well in this event so far. They went undefeated, and they've had control over all their games.
Yeah.
Yes. Hard. Go, 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 go. Hard, go. I got 20.
Another example there, just lob one in, bite the top 8. That's exactly what Julien wanted to see.
Yeah, they're going to play this end. It's a bit weird when it's a tie game in the 7th end. There's a team that, Tremblay would likely want to get a blank here, but he doesn't mind keeping a couple rocks in play in case 2 or 3 pops up. And Thompson also wants to try and force or steal, but he's going to have to take risk by doing so. So 7th end and a tie game is always very interesting.
It's really tricky, eh? Like the skip really has to decide at what point are the rocks in a good enough position that we're going for it, or we're going to back off and try to see if we can get a blank.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, 2 choices probably for Thompson. You could he's looking like he's going to run it. Maybe they'll change, but if you run it, you're probably trying to force. But you're also, maybe 1 roll out away from a blank, which then Tremblay will have the definite advantage in that 8th end. So they're debating right now. I think is what they're thinking of, is you could lob a draw to at the same time and keep the force or steal active. The second you run this, it's starting to get a little harder to steal, definitely.
Would it change your strategy if you knew, so Thompson's been playing from behind this entire game. So if you were skipping and you were in Thompson's shoes right now, are you saying, these guys are playing better than us right now? Does that change your strategy at all, knowing that you're playing a team that's hot and that you're playing with house money, or is it still just up to where the rocks are sitting?
Yeah, I don't think you want to change what you would have had, say, for strategy if I were to tell them they were going to be tied without in the 7th and before the game started. But you just don't want to go too hard at it, and because now you feel like you're in it, and then all of a sudden just give up a big bundle and that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like they're really debating on the 2 shots. None of the 2 are fine. The 2 are right, actually. It's just depending on what's your preference.
Yeah, totally.
Either one's fine.
It's rocking upstairs now. Or there's kids. We're not quite sure which.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of noise.
It's loud.
So they ended up choosing their run back, so it's very important they make noise here, because if they don't, Tremblay probably peels the other guard, and then he's going to have the entire end to choose if he wants to take 2 and go 2 up without, or to just play the easy blank and again keep control of the hammer for 8th. Very important they stick this. Seems close.
Ooh, we get the wrong rock.
Good shot.
So he partially got it, but now the 2 guards are gone.
Surprised that's the one they're going for.
Yeah, they were trying to sort of over curl that.
Stick the rock in the forefoot, or they're trying to hit the top one?
I think they were going after, say, not shot rock, the other yellow. The one they actually ended up touching, but they just didn't. So this one's going to.
Good. Nice. Good. Hard, hard, hard.
Oh, so that's a bit of a miss. I don't know. He had a bit of a wobble coming out of the hack.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, he didn't like it.
Because normally Jesse would have made the double on those fairly easily. He's a pretty good hitter, I can tell you that. He throws them most of the time very precise and hard. So yeah, still an opening for Thompson there. There's 2 guards. One's in a pretty good spot. It's just off center line.
Yeah, they get to reset here, try to put a rock in another good spot, and put the pressure back on Tremblay. I was checking with Scotty Zachary on the Tremblay team ahead of time, just trying to get a couple speaking notes, and he said that that Jesse Mullen was a beauty on this team, that he's fiery and a good curler, good hitter, good drawer. And I take whatever Scott Zachary has to say about players, I'll take to the bank. So
yeah, Scott Zachary is another beauty, I guess.
He
he's
sure
a fun guy to be around.
He's one of the best.
Yeah. So yeah, I would believe Scott.
Yeah, me too. I didn't have anything else to go on, so.
So I think this is a bit back to the conversation we had earlier. They're now debating on still playing a double peel to try and keep blank open, or you could freeze one and try to go for two up coming home.
I think that red being about maybe 8 inches heavy is what's keeping this conversation alive. I think if that rock was one rock higher up, they just double peel without even thinking about it. But they can get down there in a pretty good angle on an out-turn draw and be in a pretty good spot to score. But scoring is not exactly what they want. It's kind of multiples or nothing at this point. I like the double peel, personally.
I agree with you. I think that's the decision they came up with as well. I think you make the double peel, and Kendall's going to have to throw a guard, and it's going to be very hard with even 4 rocks, like 3 rocks left after this one, but actually, no, it would be 4 rock left. It will be very hard not to allow the chase.
A little thin, gotta get it thin.
He didn't roll out, so there's still a guard. Yeah. So, see, that's their reasoning. Like, he could throw a guard on shot rock, but it's likely to overcurl or undercurl a couple of inches on one side or the other, and then Tremblay is gonna just throw a hack waiter at it, kill it out of there, and then you're in trouble to even force a score here.
Yeah.
So they're
Mullen would have liked to have rolled his shooter all the way out. So this gives Thompson an opportunity not just to have to guard an open rock, but now they can sink a second one in there, try to get some positioning, maybe lure Tremblay into playing a hit and roll, something a little bit quieter.
Yeah, I mean, and I think if this is made, you're now going to see Tremblay switch gears.
Right.
I think there's
stick to
enough stuff in play now that it's hard to blank, especially that even if you make a run back, the guard's still there. So they might change. Oh, okay. Well, the run double also works.
Yeah, it works if you make it.
Yeah.
I like this. I like the in-turn run back, try to catch the rock that's closest to the center line, the shot rock.
Yeah. The other thing I don't think they looked at is you could hit sort of a good half of that yellow into shot rock, which rolls the guard out. And if you just make contact with that red rock, then Kendall needs to put 2 of his next, three next rocks in positions not to give up a double.
That's the shot that I like. I like the in-turn, hit 2/3 of it, catch that red one going by, and roll.
Maybe that's what they're going for. Yeah, no, they were going for their straight one, but I think they might get that one.
It's close.
Oh, no. So close. So close.
Worst case scenario, left the guard and left the 2 reds. Now there's a world of options for Thompson.
Guard this, he's playing the skinny. Guard it.
Interesting.
Well, you just draw open. To me. Open.
So there's still a couple options for Thompson. You can guard the shot rock, which I think your amateur curler would look at doing. That's going to leave a skinny double for Tremblay's team, which you don't want because then you'd have a skinny double, you'd have yellow undershot. Kendall originally looked at guarding his second shot rock, which would either give Tremblay the run back or a hit and roll on the shot rock.
I actually like that option.
Yeah,
I think that
forces Tremblay into something aggressive that they might miss.
I mean, if you throw it anywhere in the rings, you're still looking at maybe a blank, and the blank is the worst option for Thompson. Like, it's not worse than giving up 2.
That's right.
So they ended up taking that. Like, they looked at throwing one on the wide side, on the screen's right side, or throwing a guard on shot rock. But, yeah, like you said, there was that slim double. I think I actually like the center guard for club play because I think that
Yep.
I don't think the other team is gonna try to double, and even if they do, it's not the same likelihood that it's made. But I think I like this one. I really do.
I like this shot.
It's gone a little deep.
Definitely a hair deep. Now they're going to be looking at
triple is still
triple,
there.
yeah.
It's got to be really precise, but it is there.
You don't even really need to get that rock, that shot. If you get that double, I think the concern for Thompson's team would if they could make the double and be shot rock, and it doesn't look likely.
I don't think so. I think it would roll a touch wide. I think if you make the double and say the red on the corner of the button still there, whatever guard is left, Kendal will go around it again.
Yeah. Tremblay looking at that hit and roll off shot rock, and I think that's exactly what Thompson would like them to play. I'd like them to try, because that could really bring any score into play.
Even a steal.
Steal of multiple if Tremblay doesn't pull that shot off perfect and Thompson follows with a perfect shot behind him.
Yeah, definitely. We're at, what is this, third, second? So, and they're still sort of flirting with the two options of trying to score or to trying to blank.
That's right.
So, an interesting end.
I think I like the double on the center line side. See if you can roll your shooter on and see what Kendal does with it from there. I think I like this. Maybe like a regular weight, regular up. Hit it on the center line side.
Yeah, definitely. You can get the double and roll in, which will force probably Kendal to hit it. And then you got one more double to get out of it. The other interesting thing about the 7-10 being tied is if it ever doesn't work out, Tremblay can purposely give up a steal of one to keep hammer for the 8th end. We'd rather not, but it's better than the steal for sure.
It's got a curl.
That has to stick.
So we had our rock graphic a little bit off there. So that was actually Jean-Michel Arsenault's last rock. I thought we were getting into Tremblay's first shot.
That's right. There's an extra rock from the rock graphic. So same position as before, but now we're at Skip's rocks.
The question is, they guard the same second shot again, maybe play it a little bit higher and tempt them into playing that hit and roll, or do they try to cover up their shot rock?
I think they're going to throw a guard on shot rock, but actually throw the guard to top 12 so that they can guard shot rock, but also add another one that could just work out as a force rock.
Yeah, I like it.
And if he doesn't make it, then I loop another one.
That's always a tough double for a skip, too. Like that 6 feet of separation just off nose.
Yes.
If you nose it, you jam it, and then you leave it under cover, which can be really tricky.
It's a red double, so like a yellow-red is a lot easier because you could just stick it, you could hit it off on the back when you still make the double, but
a little bit early.
To make a red, there's always one or two a game where you're so close, but you end up nosing every rock and jamming them one into the other.
That's it. I've sat and had a lot of beer thinking about why didn't we just call that line right, or why were we on the wrong side of the inch there.
Yes, curl.
It's got a curl bit. Got to finish it.
Would you ever freeze? Would you ever? Or the hit and roll to freeze?
It's interesting. So I would say Thompson would feel like he was maybe 3.5 out of 4 on that shot. Wasn't perfect, maybe a little bit deep, maybe a little bit wide, but he leaves 3 options for Tremblay, and I did always like leaving skips with more options than they could throw.
Yeah,
when
definitely.
It's obvious what you need to throw as a skip, I find good skips usually make it, but when you had 2 or 3 shots to choose from, sometimes they have a harder time to commit.
If I can picture an easier position for that, it's say 8th end tied, and you don't have the hammer. It's your last rock, nothing in play. Where do you put that rock for the other team to be baited into, or to be debating on hitting it or drawing against it?
Yeah.
And it's that whatever spot you feel they're going to debate on is the spot you want that rock to be on.
Which I think Thompson has done a good job of setting up for Tremblay here, who looks like he's playing either a double or a hit and roll.
I think he's trying to double on the top two. It's curling
over the top.
Oh.
It's probably worst case.
He even got that other red rock to be a little closer to the 4-foot.
Yep.
I think at this point, Kendal can safely try and steal.
Now,
I think he can go for it.
The one thing that Tremblay did help himself with is that double on the reds is now easier.
Yes.
It's not as thin as it was before he bumped it. So where you put this guard is not an automatic, because wherever you put this rock, he's still got that out-turn double.
Right.
That's pretty wired on your regular Tuesday night practice. Is like a half rock, just rip it down there with a out-turn.
So he needs to hit the house for with his guard, because then it would just be a double for 2 for Tremblay, but there's like to force a double for a score of 1 here is all Kendal could hope for at the beginning of this end.
Definitely. But he's got to drop this in and touch at least full 12.
Yeah, and not give a triple.
Sure, it's not for 2.
Not be in a position of giving up a triple, which I think in this case is there's not really that spot. Like, that would be a totally different shot, but you could also nose freeze this one. Like, dead on nose would be okay. Don't think it's going to come up.
But it likely forces Julien to take 1, which is all Thompson could ask for at the start of this end.
Or like I said, maybe the choice is still there. You could give up a steal of 1, a purpose steal of 1, so that you keep hammer for the 8th end.
So you could
I don't know that that's that easy, though, because the only way
you could hammer it on the out turn and just take that.
You're right. Actually, you could just rip those 2 reds and just give up. I think they're gonna take 1. Although that ice is for appeal.
It's interesting because you could play the out turn off the rock that's sitting out there on its own as well and come into the pile and try to figure your way out.
They looked at it briefly to make the triple for 2. I don't think that you're going to give – it's going to be hard to give the 2 reds and the 4-foot enough power to go all the way out. I think they're going to draw appeal here, and, like, boat results are okay for them. I think they would rather take 1, but –
this one's got to curl a little bit. It's hanging.
Oh, that's
not what they wanted.
That's unfortunate.
Well.
So a steal of 2 for Kendal. That's all you could hope for.
Hey, what an interesting end, eh?
I know. We said all sorts of things for this end and all sorts of odds and everything, and none of them happened.
None of them happened. Steal of 2 for Thompson was not what we had on our bingo card. And it's probably not what Thompson had either, quite frankly. Tremblay's been in control of this game from the get-go. His draw weight's been incredible. A couple little loose shots there and some rocks in some right position on behalf of the Thompson team. And now they got Tremblay on his heels.
Yeah, for the first time in this game, Tremblay will be chasing. They're going to definitely throw a couple of corners. With the 5-rock rule, though, we've seen a lot of 3s in the last end. It's, it could easily happen.
We thought we were going to see nothing but 3s to start this game. We started with 3 of them, so 4th one is not out of the.
It would be fitting for this game, actually.
It would be 3 to win.
Good scoring, a lot of rocks in play. It's been an entertaining match to watch.
It would be nothing better than a 9-8 final in an 8-end game.
Or an 8-8, and then we go to an extra
free curling.
Bonus scoring.
That's free curling.
Extra fun.
Brophy's not thrilled with his first rock. Back 12 is not exactly where you want to put it if you're trying to keep this game in check. That just gives the team that wants to score a 3 a little bit of extra jump in their step.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's going to give Tremblay 1 rock less to chase.
hard. Go, 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 go. Yeah.
It's way harder to score 3 when your lead puts it top 4 tight touch in the center line.
Yeah,
3
or
makes it
like
way
even
different.
like it was probably looking to he was trying to get the top 4, top 12 tight guard kind of thing on the line. So Tremblay
now
through
you
a
got
corner.
Brophy, you got Brophy going behind corner guard, which positioning now really, really matters because both Tremblay and Thompson want to see a rock go behind this corner, which is one of my favorite parts of curling.
I think that the strategy that Kendal is going to use here is he's going to try and not go fully behind this corner. He's going to try and put it like edge to edge on the line from the hack and sort of choke off the corner, but not fully bury it, because if you bury it, then Tremblay will freeze and you can't do anything to it. It might actually curl up to be fully buried, but I think that's a good shot.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, it's edge to edge.
Yep.
It's you can't freeze to that red rock because you're always going to be able to just throw a big weight peel and smash it out. So Tremblay will be looking at throwing another guard. They're going to go for the 2 guards on the same side, the double guard. A lot of good ends have happened with those double guards.
Yeah, it's such a great change to the game. I played through the 3 rock rule and then the 4 rock rule and didn't play a ton through 5 rock rules. So it's still a bit of an education for me, but I love to see it.
So when are we going to bring a 6 rock rule?
They might need it. The way that both sides, men and women, throw it so hard, so accurate, and can clear out an end. That's what we do when we practice. I mean, we were never allowed to hit until the last, till the skip rocks. When we would play like a 3-on-3 or a 1-on-1-on-1 practice, it was always you were never allowed to hit a rock out of the house.
Yeah, it makes for interesting ends.
You
Get your, it forces you to learn how to judge rocks for draws and angles and stuff like that. So it's always good.
Yep.
So just want to look at the scores on the other. I'll start with the men, I guess. The other men's semifinal, which is Steele against Purcell.
Yep.
I think I saw Steele get a big steal earlier in this game. I don't know which end it was, but they got a big steal out of Purcell, which Owen is actually not playing tonight because he's I think he's flying to the mixed nationals. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got Christina Black on that same plane, so she's left her team to fend for themselves in these playoffs as well.
That's a pretty good mixed team.
Pretty good mixed team, yeah.
There's a lot of pretty good mixed teams, actually, this year. I was talking to other players that are here, and I've lost players for this week. There's a lot of good teams.
Definitely. Decent shot. I like where Thompson's sitting in this end so far. Tremblay is they're trying to manufacture. They got 2 corner guards. They got a chance. They need to make a more precise hit and roll than Team Thompson is trying to make.
Yeah, I think they played a bit of a waiting shot here. There was a rock blocking the 2 corners. They sort of hit and rolled out. It was very important they stuck around, which they did.
Yep.
And now Thompson is going to hit the open rock, which Tremblay is fine with. They're going to leave it there, and they're going to lob one around the corners.
You like the nose here and just leave it right there and just put it back on Tremblay's responsibility to get the roll?
Yeah, I mean, he rolled a little on the wide side there, but I think you have to hit that. You might have wanted to roll to like the edge of the 4-foot, add another rock to the 4-foot that Tremblay will have to deal with eventually. The very good rock for Thompson right now is that the one that is just blocking the corner, but isn't fully buried.
So I saw Tremblay called for a little over curl freeze here. Why wouldn't you want to try to get the angle on the center line side? Why would he want to over curl it a little bit?
I just think he wants this buried. You need this to be buried. Because now you could throw a hack at that and roll it to the 4-foot. And it's less inviting to go around your corner. Tremblay will do it anyways, but you're adding another rock that the other team needs to needs to chase eventually. So we're out. We're already at the third stones here.
Yep. This is a big shot here for Stewart. Like if he can pick that, if he can chip that out for shot.
Yeah.
That doesn't win the game for them by any stretch. But you talk about keeping the pressure on Tremblay and not giving them that momentum where they think, okay, we got this, guys. Let's get our 3.
Yeah. I mean, you want to be you want to try and get a little cute here with rolling into the forefoot. You could, Stewart could throw a peel and just rip that yellow. It's not a problem, but I want to try and stick this.
It's pretty good.
They did, but you'd want it in the forefoot.
Yeah.
That's not a rock. All the 3 rocks that are in the 12-foot are, Julien Tremblay. He's not even looking at them. Yeah. They're not part of the game at all. They're actually just there to catch a peel, if anything.
They're
off
helping
the guards.
him. They're still helping him right now.
So he's just gonna lob another one. 2 and even 3 is still in play.
Yep. Jean-Michel's got basically the exact same shot, so it's going to try to over-curl that red shot rock and maybe drop it just under the U of curling club would be perfect.
Yeah, Jesse threw the last one, but he was just a touch heavy, so it never curled, and then it just stopped when it hit the other rock. But if he buries this, I'm curious to see what Thompson's gonna do. He can peel one guard, but that's the best way to keep 3 in play at the same time. But you feel like you need to peel.
Tremblay's team has been money on draws all day. So if we have an announcer's curse, we're trying not to break it out here, but this looks pretty good.
This one seems good. It's beating all the back 12 or the corner 12 rocks. So, like I said, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do here. They can peel a guard, but it's not necessarily that great if you peel only one.
No, I like that corner freeze up top.
I think I do as well. It also blocks Tremblay from putting another one around the corner.
It's what you want to see in a quarterfinal that started with 3 spot right out of the gates is like major shots by the third stones in the 8th end. You can't ask for much more.
Yeah, it was 6-3 after 3 ends, so definitely not boring curling.
They're throwing haymakers early.
See, this seems like a good line. It'll curl in there. There it goes. It's gone sideways almost.
It's a perfect shot. It's a great shot. Really good by Stewart.
I think Tremblay can freeze another one though, and he's second and third shot, and he can't remove any of the yellows. So yeah, an interesting end again.
Yeah, this is one of those times where you just want to go put the remote to the side, put your phone down, appreciate what you're seeing in terms of the ice, the caliber of the curling. These guys are feeling the pressure. They're in their quarterfinal. They really want to make the semifinals. You want to make Sunday in a tournament like this. You really want to have Saturday night be kind of like one beer and a Gatorade and be like, okay, no, I'm out of here. I got something to play for tomorrow. So this draw matters a ton for Jean-Michel.
Oh, for sure. They've played well through this whole event, so they want to keep their streak going.
Yeah, they've had nothing but flowers all week, like nothing but wins and high fives and buying the other team a drink. And this is the time to lock it down and try to get to 5-0 for them.
They're close. They're very close here. Take this on a good spot.
Really good. That's money. That's so good. That's a walk it down. He just threw that 144 feet or so, but he couldn't have walked the rock down himself and just placed it there really much better than that.
That's the difference with the game these days. The draw game has improved so much, and it's now such a precise game. You got to put your rocks in perfect spots or else they'll go flying.
Yep.
But this is a really good one.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gone through kind of like the banging area of banging era of curling when guys got really good at throwing it high and hard and straight, and they could make any kind of double, triple. You saw Mark Kennedy and the Herndon brothers and guys like that just being able to whip it down there. And then sweeping made too much of a difference for a while, and they've moved to these yellow regulated broom heads, and now you've got really a team game where your sweepers are involved. You've got everybody that's got to play every shot with the 5-rock rule. Your second stone is playing a lot of touch shots. Your third stone's got to be able to throw everything. Your skip's got to be able to throw everything, and your sweepers have got to be on their game from the coin toss all the way through to the last shots, which it's been great for the sport.
Yeah, I think it's a more complete game now.
Definitely.
It's a more team-based game than it used to be.
So we got Thompson trying to play a little bit of a bump, just trying to unlock his back rock.
Yeah, this as much as it was a good rock before, Tremblay has managed to put it in a spot where the red rock is actually the one hurting Thompson at this point. They need to make it by on this one.
Oh, can't touch that there.
Oh, it spun right back up, and it's actually the only saving grace here for this shot was actually that it still beats the top yellow. So that was big that it came back.
Yeah, that is big. I got distracted because she too was doing some dual commenting. We have Stuart Thompson's sister, Selena, commenting over on sheet 2, and I think they were just as curious to see what was going on our sheet as they were to see on ours. Regardless, we've got both teams in an equally uncomfortable, okay situation right now. Neither team is dead in the water. Neither team is loving where they're sitting.
Yeah, now it's you're in 3. You're definitely entering 3 territory.
Definitely, yeah. So if Julien makes a nice little draw and just unhooks that back red rock and can sit 2 yellows,
I don't even think he wants to unlock it.
Doesn't unlock it, freeze it right
I think he want to freeze right dead to it, because any hit from the red team will then remove the back red rock, and you'll be sitting 2. I think they're just looking at freezing it. I think that's what I got from their French.
Sounds good.
I think mine's pretty good as well. So
I mean, mon est juste okay. What's freeze in French? Like, what would you say? Gelé?
Oh man, there's
just freeze.
English is curling is a very English sport.
Yeah.
And there are sort of words that were invented very recently, but we don't use them.
Mostly.
They don't use them either. It's a freeze.
Whatever Vic Turnbull and Russ Howard would say on TSN, you just adopt those as your language, eh?
Yeah, it's a freeze. It's a freeze. It's a takeout. It's a guard.
This is a little. Oh, he got that nice little kiss off that red one. Big time.
That's not a bad result.
Nope. It's a game of millimeters. That he was over curling there, but just that little kiss off that top red changed that angle just enough to put that yellow in a good spot. And I think red is second shot right now, but yellow is looking pretty good.
It's looking better and better for Tremblay at this point.
So do you think drop back button? Make a shot?
I don't know. I'm trying to find a good spot for a red rock.
There's not very many, is there?
No. You also don't want to give a red double.
Nope. So I was looking, it's like you think, okay, can we get another rock in there for shot? It's not that easy at this level. You really got to make sure that the other team doesn't have a shot. So if red drew the T line on the other side, for example, to get shot rock, you might leave them a double for 3, game over. A freeze in that little tiny pocket between the 2 yellows still gives yellow a really good chance for 3. So you're really trying to put it in a spot where I think Thompson is like, how do we force an extra end here? But the fact that their second shot in the back does give them some more options. They could look at a guard and say, let's make Julien draw for 2 and let's take the hammer to the extra.
I'm assuming if they're guarding, this means that currently the Red Rock is second shot.
That's the one they tapped. Yeah, that's the one they tapped.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's very hard to tell, I'd say, right now. But if they're going for a guard, I would think they're positive it's Red Rock, that's second shot.
Yeah. They've got to believe that Julien's just got to draw the Ocean Contracting logo for a point to take 2 and go into the extra. Shout out to Scott and John Fleming, who are probably not listening, but responsible for Ocean Contracting and sponsoring our provincial tankard. They got their logo in the button.
I think that might have picked, is what I could hear them say.
I hate to see it. Is it going to cross the hog line?
I don't know if it picked or he just never had enough weight, but I heard pick from the other team, so.
Do you think the guard is the hardest shot for skip? I think that's the one where the skip takes his eye off the ball the most. Because I played with some good skips, and it seems like percentage-wise, shooting percentage, doubles, runbacks, freezes, skips make those all day long. An open guard was the shot as a sweeper that I got the most nervous sweeping for a skip.
I hear where you're coming from. I mean, there's harder shots than a guard. It's just the guards that the skips are throwing, I would say, have a little more depth importance,
They're
if I
precise.
could say.
Yeah,
like, you know, not.
And you don't practice.
I'm not
how
downgrading league guards, but I'm saying, like, you know, just this end, the first guard for Tremblay came up and it was too high, so then they decided to go for the 2 on the same side, which works.
Is he drawing for 2? I don't think he is. I think that guard's in a tough enough spot. He's playing the bump for the 3 in the win here.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the shot. They go for the win here. I think he's got it. He's on a good line. There you go, you got it.
Game over. That's as back and forth a curling game as I've watched in a while, where we went from Tremblay scoring 3, Thompson on the comeback. Tremblay takes the win. A beautiful little, hey, we said, wouldn't a 3 be a poetic justice way to end this? We had a 3-1, we had a 3-2, we had a 3-3. Thompson battled back big time in this game, showed a lot of character, ultimately fell to another field goal and a big.
A 9-8 final is all you could ask for.
Yeah, big time. Hey, there we go. Look, semifinal. There's a Sunday brunch. Why not enjoy a delicious brunch at the club while the semifinals are on? $25 includes 2 specialty drink tickets given to me last minute by your Rob Beliveau. There's a brunch menu. We're happy for Team Tremblay. 5-0. Très bien, les garçons. Vous avez joué un extrêmement bon match against the local team of Kendal Thompson. Felix, it was a pleasure being on the mic with you. Thanks for subbing in.
Thanks
for
for
2
having
ends.
me. It was fun.
Yeah, great time.
Yeah.
Rob Bellevau's back there.
Rob is going to get his job back for tomorrow, though.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you on Sunday, everybody. We'll see Tremblay in the semifinal. Let's go.
Thanks. That was fun. Yeah, definitely. Just in time to watch the end of this one.
Nothing is as exquisite as the enchanting crimson and golden tapestry of fall. When revving your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall for Subaru at your local Subaru dealer today.
Hey, curling fans, I'm standing here in front of Sheet Stew here at the High Park Club, and I just want to let you know that I'm so excited to sponsor the sport of curling, to help curling out. So you can go to stucurls.com, see all my events, see the Stu Sell series. But you know what? I also sell real estate as well. So you need to buy a house, list a house, condo, rental, business. Look, give me Stu a call.
Somebody sucked him into it. So that maybe I